Hi there, my name is Sylvia Gorenszach and I am a GelMoment independent distributor, and I'm going to show you how to use one of these shimmers today. I have royal purple here. What you need to also have is a clearly frisky, your lamp, and I have already prepped my nails, so I've buffed and cleansed it already. So I'm just going to move a few things out of the way here. I also have this white piece of paper here because if there's any shimmers that arrive on the paper, then what you can do is just fold the paper up and scoop it back in, or just kind of pour it back into the pod here, okay? So first thing we're going to do is move this up to the side. We need to polish our fingers. So let's take Clearly Frisky. I've already rolled it. Now, the one thing about Clearly Frisky that I suggest and highly suggest is that you have a dedicated Clearly Frisky just for the chromes and for the shimmers, because it will pick up some of the shimmers and like the sparkles, right? And so this is not a chrome that you want to use for finishing nail art or doing French manicures, because it will pick up a subtle powders in there. So I'm just going to cap the edge here, smooth it all out again. You want to make sure that this is a thin coat. Now, the difference between this and the chrome is that we're actually not going to cure it. You put the shimmer on wet polish. So I'm just going to open it up here, tap it a little bit so that it just comes off the side. Open it up. And look at the beautiful color. Oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. Oh wow. Okay, so now you take this little scoop and I'm going to put my finger right over the pod so that the excess will go back into the pod. Yes, there will be some on the paper, but that's fine because then I can just fold the paper like I said earlier and pour it back into the pod. So you just take a little bit and all you do is just sprinkle it on your nail. You are going to get some on your skin and that's completely fine. You just want to have full coverage. Cover it all up. I know it looks like a lot right now, but don't be scared. Make sure you get all the corners and all the edges, and careful not to touch the nail as well. Okay, and my finger went into the pod. That's okay. And I'm going to put just a tiny little bit on the capping as well. Okay. It looks like I have a lot under the nail, but it'll all fall off. I'm just trying to get that capping. Okay, so I'm gonna put that off to the side. Looks pretty good. Now I have my finger, I'm just tapping my finger to get the excess off. And I do have some here, but that is completely fine. So I'm going to take my cleanser pad actually and just cleanse a little bit around the edge so that I can see where, because of my failing eyes, see where the edge of my nail is and the edge of the polish. Okay, so that's good enough. All right, so I'm going to close this up now. Whoop. I don't want to have any accidents with that and have that all over the place. Okay, so see we have some here. I'm just going to fold this over at the end and then pour it into the pod. Alrighty, so now what we do is take our lamp and cure it for the full 45 seconds. Okay, be back in a bit. Okay, so the full 45 seconds has ended and now I'm going to take the finger out. Now you're going to have some residual here and there's going to be a little bit of, still got some on my finger there, forgot to clean that up. Didn't get a chance to. So you are going to have a little bit, but it is cured on there. You can leave it like this if you like, but you will get some fallout. See how I'm just rubbing some of my fingers over gently, and it just tends to come off a little bit. So we want to put a coat of Clearly Frisky on again, just to kind of seal the powder in. And let's do that. Okay. Now when you put the Clearly Frisky on your finger, again, you want to avoid the cuticles, but you want to cover all that shimmer. And I go a little bit slower because it is a shimmer and it's an actual like glitter on your finger. I find that if I brush a little bit slower, then the Clearly Frisky has a little bit of time to get in between all those shimmers to make sure it's nice and sealed in there. So, just a little bit more polish. Now there is a little bit around the cuticle there. I'm just making sure that I'm not putting Clearly Frisky on that because I don't want to cure it to my skin. It will wash off just like the chromes. So I'm just making sure that I'm putting the Clearly Frisky on my nail bed only. Okay, now I am also going to, and I have a whole bunch of there as well, but that's fine because that's not cured to the nail. That's just powder that was sticking to my nail. So I'm going to put a little bit of Clearly Frisky on the edge to cap, and then the excess that is underneath the nail there will just wash off. So now whenever I polish, I always polish, cap, and then polish. And that is because when you cap, I find that the capping is just a little bit thicker than the polish that's on your nail, and it's susceptible to chipping, okay? So we're gonna give that a go and put it underneath the lamp for another full 45 seconds, all right? See you in a bit. Okay, that is now done. I'm gonna take it out, and now you can put a second coat of Clearly Frisky on if you like. Most people do. I don't really like the rough nail. You don't really feel it after the first coat, but I'm just gonna put one more coat just to protect the shimmer a little bit more. And make sure it stays on there nice. And then after this, we'll cure it for full 45 seconds and do the cleanup. Okay, cap that edge again. And just go over and smooth out that capping. And in the lamp it goes for 45 seconds. Okay, the lamp has shut off, and here we go. So now I'm just gonna take my cleanser pad. You can just go to the sink and wash off the excess, but I don't have a sink here readily available to me. So I'm just using the cleanser pad to get most of the sprinkles off, or the shimmer off, and see it's coming off from underneath the nail when I had that whole pile in there. That's okay. And this is another good reason to have the mat or a piece of paper here, just to kind of capture all of the shimmer that the shimmer followed, as I call it. And that is it. Nice, beautiful, sparkly nail. And I'm going to go to the sink now and clean this up just a little bit more because it does stick a little bit, but that is it. That's how you use the shimmer. Thank you so much for tuning in.